Hey, welcome to the Vent NightCap. Again, we are in a new space again tonight. I know we've been talking a lot about rest, and for whatever reason, as we have been talking about rest, I have been on the move. So we are in a different location tonight. So we have been on the move. It's been good moves, right? So I'm excited. I am happy to be here with you. Thank you again for joining us. If you're new to the vent is a safe space to speak, to be heard. We are a communal space. So although you see me on the screen, we are all valuable. Our voices are all valuable. Our stories are all valuable. We want to hear from you, and we want you to share what you know, what you've learned, what you've lived through. We want advice from you. So feel free to drop something in the comments. Feel free to just listen. I'm outside too. So if you hear dogs barking or people walking, I'm outside because life is life and it's happening all around us. So we want to hear. Every voice matters. We want to hear from you. We want to learn from you. Even if you don't want to say anything, you can drop something in the comments, or you can just listen, take what you need. You can share this video, invite other people in. Either way, we're happy that you're here with us. We're happy that you decided to join us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. It is always exciting to have community, safe communal conversations with like-minded people. And even when we disagree, we're able to move forward and even learn something from one another. So welcome in. Tonight's conversation is going to be really quick. We have one thing, because it's not quick because we want to rush. It's quick because we want you to focus on resting. So the goal of these nightcaps is for you to decompress, for you to unwind, for you to relax, for you to be rejuvenated. So whatever information, we want it to always be practical. So we want you to come in, get it, and then we want you to implement it in your day-to-day life. So we've been talking about micro rest. We've been talking about gratitude journaling. We've been talking about breathing exercises. We've been talking about so many different things because we want you to actually do it. So listen, come in, ask questions, drop advice, tell us what works for you. But the goal is for you to use this in your everyday life, not even just at the end of the night, but throughout the day. Take your micro rest, taking time to reflect. All those things are so you can get better rest, so that you can take care of you. Hey, Juan, so that you are able to sleep well at night. Because a lot of us go to sleep, we wake up, we're still tired. We have so much on our brain, we're going to bed, but it's not always good quality rest. So we really want to get into that. So tonight we're starting with some doses. So this is almost like prescribed by the doctor, right? We might have a vent doctor, no MD, no PhD. Let's be honest, so that you don't tell somebody that we're not liable. No, but in all seriousness, this is sometimes rest is what the doctor prescribes. Rest is what your soul needs. Rest is what your mind needs. Rest is what you need to do so that you're able to continue the journey and so that you're able to take care of you. So our first dose, our first prescription is us remembering that a small dose can bring significant relief. So I don't know if you've ever heard, where there are certain things that you just need a little bit and it makes a great impact. There's this book that talks about how the tongue is so small, right? But it has such a big impact. Like, it's a small part of your body, but the words that you say, the things that you speak over people, things that come out of your mouth have the power of life and death. Small things make a big difference. So with that being said, when we talk about small doses, we're talking about those small habits, those little things that you do every day, every morning, every week, build into bigger habits, which in turn end up transforming your whole life. So you saving $20, $30, $1,000, $10,000 over time. You started at one spot, then you grew over time because you had a regimen, because you had a ritual, because you had something that you followed, right? You didn't go to the gym one day and do one workout. You had a small dose daily, and that was what kept you going. When you take your vitamins, is this small pill, this small gummy, or this powder, you take it, it's small, but it makes a big difference. So that's all we're talking about, even in an intangible sense. When you do things, there are certain things that you do, certain things that you can implement, and it has a major, major, major impact. I preached about this one time. It just came. The Princess and the Pea, right? They knew that she was, y'all ever heard about the Princess and the Pea? The Princess and the Pea she spent the night. They were trying to figure out if she was really a princess. So they put a pea under like 20 mattresses. She could not sleep that night because the pee was under there. This little tiny pee disrupted her sleep. In that same way, whether we choose to or don't choose to do these small things, they're either going to help us rest well at night or they're going to keep us tossing and turning. The habits, the small things that we do, everything, the things that we eat, the things that we say, it builds into a habit. So it's like, oh, I did this the other day, but what are you doing daily? What is your wake up routine? My daughter has a whole face routine. She does it. It keeps her skin clear, right? Because she does it every day. If she did it once, it might work for a little while, but the things that you do daily, the things that you do, even when they're small, have such a great impact. So this is what I want to ask you because I want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. Thank you for coming in here. How, and please put this in the comments, how do you decompress when life gets busy? So for some people, you take a step back. How do you decompress? We ask this because one, we want you to think about it, because if you're not doing it, we want you to start thinking about how you're going to do it. Two, you may have a regimen or something that you do that can help somebody else in the group. And then three, your voice is valuable. So when you remember it, sometimes you need to just bring it back. Like you were doing it at one point and then you stopped, or you were doing it, but not as consistently. So when you think about, I've had a busy week, holiday season, right? It's holiday season, things get busy. When you think about what you've been doing, how do you normally decompress when life gets busy? So feel free to drop that in YouTube comments and Facebook comments and the Instagram comments, because we want to know. And some examples, if you're not sure where to start, right? You can decompress by taking a long hot bath. You can decompress by listening to, when I decompress, I listen to like jazz, or I'll listen to some type of music that's calming, or some sounds like ocean waves. I listen to Ella Fitzgerald. I listen to Miles Davis. I listen to Louis Armstrong. I listen to, these people that, Robert Glasper. I listen to people who have that vibe of like, oh, right. I was playing my playlist and me and one of my friends were driving. And she was like, oh, I feel like I'm about to go to sleep. So I had to switch that because we're driving, right? But the thing is, it helps me to relax. For some people, it may be you just sit in some silence. You sit by a fireplace. You go watch a movie. Some people may be retail therapy. Be careful with that. Stay on your budget. Some people go get massages. I have the best massage tech in the world, and I'm not sharing her. I do not gatekeep, but I will gatekeep her forever. But there are so many things that you can do to decompress. For some people, it may be brain dumping. Like at the end of your day, you have to get it all off so that you can sleep. For some people, you may have to start your day setting intentions, right? So whatever that is, those are some examples. Gratitude journaling. I'm a reflector, so I will sit and think about everything that happened that day, and work through it in my mind and then let it go. Like I could have done this, maybe this could have happened. Well, tomorrow I'll do this, right? And then I let it go because I want to go to bed. But just think about that. If you're watching the replay, drop some ways that you decompress. Here's our main thing for tonight. Our first dose that we're doing now, I guess this is going to be our Vent NightCap series, right? Our first dose is a dose of reality. Some of us, before we start to rest, right? We've been talking a lot, but before you really get to rest, before you can wrap your mind around rest not being lazy, or rest not being something that you don't really need, or rest being optional, or thinking that rest is a luxury when it's really a necessity and it's really something that you deserve and have the right to, we need a dose of reality to remember why you should rest, all these things we're talking about, the benefits of rest, the way that it can negatively or positively affect your body, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So let's go to that. So for some of us, we know, for many of us, we know that stress is inevitable. Like you are going to be stressed at one time or another. It just is what it is. You cannot escape it. You cannot get around it. It could be different levels of stress, but stress is inevitable. It is going to happen. Even if you love your job, even if you love your mate, even if you love your children, even if you have fun with the people that you hang out with, even if you love your coworkers, at some point, even if you're working in your dream field, everything that you want to do, at some point, there's going to be some level of stress, whether it's a deadline, whether it's something going on with management, whether it's something going on where you're trying to figure out how to overcome an obstacle. Stress is inevitable. That is true. However, it's also true that how we manage it does not have to be stressful, right? It does not have to be bad to manage stress. You do not have to be stressed out to manage your stress. What does that mean? Stress, if I know I'm getting stressed, if I know I'm getting to a point, I can get up from my desk, get up from my computer. I can walk outside, take a walk. I can take those micro rests that we talked about where we unplug. I can be on do not disturb for maybe 20 minutes. I can find ways to, okay, I'm getting overwhelmed in this project. I'm getting frustrated with this. Let me take a step back and then I'll come back. Right? You can't take a step back for 30 days. That's not what we're saying. But take 20 minutes, take 15 minutes, take 5 minutes, come back, have a snack, stretch, do some breathing exercises. So it doesn't have to be complicated to manage it, but because it's inevitable, it's also true that you have to find practical, simple ways to manage your stress. And again, if you have, hey, Tyler, if you have some ways to do that, feel free to share with us. One thing that I like to do is I'll take a walk. I'll go outside and get fresh air and sunlight. I enjoy doing those things because they make me feel good. You may not want to do that, but there are some things that you can do. The other thing that is true and will probably always be true to my knowledge, if you know something else, let me know. We can't control everything. That is a solid truth. You cannot control everything as much as you want to, as much as you wish you could, as much as you pray and pray that you can. Hey, Tasha, you cannot control everything. But it's also true, right? They don't, just because one thing is true doesn't mean another thing can't also be true along with that. We can't control everything. We cannot. But it's also true that you can control how you respond. Right? What's that quote? It's like life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% how you respond. Things are going to happen, things that are outside of your control, things that you didn't see coming, things that you wish never happened, that accidents, sickness, losing relationships, money, all types of things will happen that we cannot control. However, we can control how we respond to that. So if I know something is coming up, if I know a busy season is coming up, I also know that okay, I see you a little bit. We can control how we respond. So if somebody comes to me with an attitude, you can have your attitude, but I don't have to respond back with that. I can give you grace, I can give you kindness. I can give you nothing really. I can not even interact with you because I lower my stress by not allowing you to get me frustrated. Right? I cannot control the weather, but what I can do is dress for it. Right? It's simple things like that. Like, man, my shoes got wet. Well, you knew it was gonna rain, so you should have done something different. We get upset, but we can't control. But if we have some knowledge of things, we can make some different decisions. So all of these things can be true at the same time. It's how we reframe it, how we look at it, how we respond to it, and then how we're managing along the way. It's those small things we do. It's that quiet time you have in the morning because you know you're about to go into a chaotic situation. It is that meal that you have because you know you're going to be on the go. It is the snacks, simple as the snacks that you pack in your bag because you may not have time to stop. As simple as charging your phone at night because you know you're going to be out and you may be away from a space where you can do it. It can be as simple as that because those small things often mess up our day. It can be as simple as taking a change of clothes because something in your mind just say, I need to take a change of clothes today. Because what happens is if you don't, later on you end up being frustrated because you say, I should have bought that change of clothes. Right? It's the same thing with people. I had this conversation the other day, and then we're going to move to the next thing. You cannot control people. Some people, you have to meet them where they are. You know they got a bad attitude. You know they stink. You know that, you know these things about them. You know that whenever you present something to them, they're going to point out everything that could go wrong. You know this about them. You can't control them, but what you can control is, one, your expectation because you already know how they are. So you can shift what you're expecting because you already know what it's going to be. And the other part is how you respond. I can let you have that. Okay, yeah, I can see how that could be something. I could not take it personally. I can see how that could happen. I can see how, okay, and you move forward. So our responses are, and a lot of times we got to take our ego out of it when we're in those situations. So how do we bridge all that together? Shirley Chisholm, awesome woman. Small steps, persistent action. That's the secret to overcoming any mountain. So any large situation, any big things that are ahead of you that you feel like, man, how am I going to overcome this? This has me losing sleep at night. I'm having some anxiety about this. I'm having some second thoughts about this. I'm not sure about that. Small steps. I want to lose 100 pounds. Small steps, changing diet, working out 5 minutes, then going up increments, 10 minutes. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, starting with a half a mile, working up to 2 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles. Small steps and persistent action are how we get over those mountains. There's this quote that's out there, right? How do you eat an elephant? But one bite at a time, right? We see these big things, and often we have to set the goal of, okay, what should I do first, and then what's next, and then that's it, instead of trying to take on the whole thing at once. So here's your recommended dose. Now that you've gotten a dose of reality and knowing that you can't control things, remembering, because you know that, knowing that it's your responses that often dictate how the rest of it goes. Stress is inevitable. Here is what we do. We prepare. We know it's coming, so we prepare for that. What does that mean? Take moments to pause and take deep breaths. Take micro breaks. If you know you got a 16-hour day, a 24-hour day ahead of you, like you're going to be working all day, plan breaks, plan pauses. And even if you don't plan them, when you feel like you are all over the place or you feel like you're at your wit's end, pause, breathe, walk away, get some water, do what you need to do for you. Take micro breaks. Different from a pause and breathe, a micro break is literally, let me take 5 minutes and listen to some music. Let me take 5 minutes and go walk around the building. Let me take 5 minutes away from my desk. Let me take 5 minutes. I'm going to sit in my car, right? Let me take 5 minutes. Different from a pause is literally like a pause, and let me breathe in peace, and I'm going to breathe out this stress, right? Let me breathe in peace, and let me breathe out all these things that people are trying to take on me. Let go of perfection. A lot of us are stressed because we are striving for perfection. We want to do everything right every single time and not make any mistakes. And if we can be honest, it's very rare that we're able to do things perfectly. We can do things in excellence. We can do things to the best of our ability. But if something happens and you have to pivot, if something happens and it goes off course, go with the flow of whatever is off course and make sure that you do it the way that you need to do it now that this has changed versus this changed, now I can't do it. No, this changed, so now I have to do it a different way. Last thing, focus on what you can control. A lot of times we're like, oh man, this happened. Oh no, it's raining. Oh no, this person didn't show up. Oh no, this was supposed to be like that. It's over. It's done. This happened. They didn't show up. The rain came. The building was closed. So now what can I do? What is in my control? How can I pivot? How can I refocus? Because the things that I can't control, I cannot control. So what can I do to kind of relieve this situation and make things better? So I hope this helped. I hope there is something that you're going to take with you, whether you decide to pause and breathe, take micro breaks, whether you just needed a reminder that you can let go of perfection and still do well, or you just needed a reminder of things are outside of my control sometimes, but I can control what I can control, and I could do that very well, and I'm going to do my best with what I have. The big goal for all of us is that we remember that one small dose is what makes a difference. So one small dose of pausing and breathing, one small dose of stepping away when we need a break, one small dose of changing our diet and replacing one soda with water, one small dose of replacing one starch with a veggie, one small dose of, instead of having a negative remark, I'm going to say something positive to you. One small dose can cause a significant relief. So take that with you, take what you can with you, and know that you deserve rest. It is not a luxury. Know that you are more than capable of doing everything that you need to do, but you can also, at the same time, and take care of yourself as you do that. So pour into you with the same amount of intensity that you're pouring into others, into other people, into other jobs, into other situations. Pour into you with that same level of high intensity, and see how much that will change, and see how improved your head space, your spiritual space, your emotional space will be. Lastly, it's our community affirmation. Always remember this: rest is not lazy. Rest is powerful. I reclaim my time. Rest is not lazy. Rest is powerful. I reclaim my time. I hope that spoke to you. I hope that you remember that. I hope that your confidence and your self-respect goes up because you know that it's not lazy for you to rest and take care of you. And I hope that you enjoyed tonight and that this small dose makes a big impact for you. So this is your small dose for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with another dose. So we got a dose of reality tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back with another dose, and we our prayer, our hope, our wish is that it brings you significant relief. We will see you again tomorrow at 8 for the Vent Nightcap. But tonight at 9, we are on live in about 37 minutes for the Vent Live. We're talking about thriving in the future. We have a very special guest, Minister Miss CEO Keisha McDaniel. She'll be on with us. We'll be talking about thriving in your future. Looking at that very practically, looking at that. I don't want to spill all the beans. You got to come back 9 p.m. See y'all then. Have a great night. If you're going to bed, sleep well, and we will see you again tomorrow.